Hello, friends. It's Malika again from the Cocoa in the Sun podcast. Today, I think we're doing chapter 5 of Bring Us at the Dawn. And then I think, what is it I want to share with anybody today? I like to share any thoughts I have in the beginning because I feel like if you don't finish it, it's best that you get the thoughts in the beginning that I'm having. Maybe it could help with something you're dealing with. I don't know what on this glasses. Anyway, I think right now my focus is really on moving through fear, facing your fears, living in the moment. I think living in the moment might be the only way to deal with fear, I suspect, right? You have all your needs in this moment, then you don't have to stress about future moments or past moments. I think it has to do with living in the moment. At least that's what I try to do. But that's not to say that I still don't have my moments that I'm scared. Think about something and like, oh my goodness, will this work out? And my mind going to the future. So I think I got the thing off the glasses. Let me see. So yeah, so I think dealing with fear has to do with living in the moment, as does manifesting the life that you want and abundance. But again, it's easier said than done in the beginning. Once you get the hang of it and you realize it is a better existence to be happy in the moment, to focus on the good things that you have in the moment. It really is a better way to live. But at first it's really difficult. So trying to move through that myself and honor even the feelings I'm having that are of fear or doubt, because they are or have been an aspect of my human existence. And pretend they don't exist or repress it doesn't really help, right? Although at this time into the reality I'm trying to move in, it's not an aspect that would be necessary. It is normal to move through them if I'm to understand it and reduce it. So I do have to look at why I feel it, and then try to move through the feeling instead of pretending that it doesn't exist and I don't have it. So that's what I'm trying to do now. I don't know if I've been successful yet, but I hope to be. What else do I want to talk about? I think of anything else. So let's get into chapter 5 of Bring Us at the Dawn, Bring Us at the Dawn, Bring Us in and Bring Us in and Bring Us at the Dawn, Bring Us at the Dawn. Who carries the cord of light? You hold the history of the universe within your physical body. What is occurring upon the planet now is the literal mutation of your physical body, for you are allowing it to be evolved to a point where it will be a computer that can house this information. This is going to occur due to biogenetic engineering that really has nothing to do with you. You can facilitate the process, of course, by intending cooperation with it. As a species, you are being biogenetically altered by the beings who created you and who redesigned your DNA at periodic junctions in your history. This time period was designed by the original creator gods or project designers for them to come back and take over this place and return it to its original plan. Millions have been called to participate in this project. Millions have said, yes, we are renegades. Let us go and take back this project and see if we can set it right. We will rebuild the ruins and put it together. So the plans have been drawn and the designs made and the genetics studied to find who carries the recessive genes and the cord of light inside them. You have selected with great clarity the parentage that genealogically provides you with the fullest accessibility to combinations of light-encoded filaments that can potentially evolve. Before you came into the body, all of you committed to designing events that would fire your codings or blueprints that would activate your memories. Then you came into the body and you forgot. All of you have had your blueprints and codings fired at some extent because you understand that there is a divine purpose or divine plan that you are a part of. The firings of the codings and the realizations of your identity are going to become phenomenally intense. The reason for this is the evolving DNA. When you have 12 helixes of DNA in place, these helixes will begin to plug into the 12 chakra system. The 12 chakras are vortex centers loaded with information that you must be able to translate. You are evolving yourself even when you are not on the planet and you are perhaps more involved with other identities of yourself. Therefore, to evolve, you pick particularly challenging situations in which you have to rise beyond what has been established as a ceiling or boundary of what is possible. You have to become super beings in whatever reality you enter, because as members of the family of light, the branch of renegades, this is your forte. You purposely came to this planet to give yourself such a challenge so that you could be defiant, not in a way that would give you problems or create disharmony, but in a way that would create harmonic defiance. Through your harmony, you are defiant toward the old vibrational frequency. Part of, part of the friction you feel with others is that you are on this path of evolution and bursting forth. Others don't like this because they are not coded at this time to respond the way you are. Some people are not coded at all for this. Some knew the plan of change and came here at this time to be observers. Some timid beings came here knowing that if they had the courage to step onto this planet, while realizing what the blueprint of the planet was, that somehow this would be an accreditation of their own conscious journey and would catapult them into higher consciousness, even if their only participation in the transition was simply to be here. Just to be in the vicinity of this kind of activity is empowering. So give due credit to all you are on the planet at this time who have decided to be participants in this great frequency change, All of these participants are necessary because the more frequencies that are on the planet, the more energy that can build to alter the old frequency. Those who have opened themselves to light are literally having their bodies rearranged. Sometimes they may wake up at night and literally feel the rearrangement. This rearrangement of the body is the restructuring of the DNA. Your DNA is a filament. Scientists would describe it as a connective filament. Scientists doing the best they can up to this point have found certain codings within certain portions of the DNA. They have also found superfluous portions of the DNA. In other words, there are portions that they cannot translate or figure out. So they think these portions of the DNA are just there for the ride and they call them junk DNA. They are off track. We have talked about how all of you were built by the creator gods. You were built like houses that were going to be expanded or added onto in the future. You are now at that juncture when those who designed you are adding on to who you are. What the scientists call junk DNA has been dormant in your body for a long time and is now becoming activated. In our teachings, we always emphasize the importance of oxygenation because oxygen feeds the coding and awakens the junk DNA in your body, which certainly isn't junk at all. It's not junk, y'all, but also I need something to drink. Give me 1 second. Okay, I'll be right back. Should have thought of that before. You want a snack? Oh, God. Yeah, I seen the powder. I love a powder, let me tell you. My aunt used to powder us when we were little, after she beat us and thing. And I love powder to this day. I don't feel clean till I powder up after I take a shower or something. Anyways, we're going back to chapter 5 of Bring Us Up the Dawn. I just had some sparkling water, like the strawberry bubbly. I like that. I find it's quite refreshing. Anyways, let us go. Let us further our knowledge. Let us expand our minds or enjoy the story. Maybe it's just a story. So we have talked about how all of you were built by the Creator God. I'm sorry, we finished that paragraph. Okay. I finally listen. Okay, let's go. Are you ready? Okay. What scientists are calling junk houses the perceptions deep inside of your body that will allow you to become an entire perceiver, a fourth dimensional being. This awakening DNA will allow you to change your eyesight, change your hearing, increase your lifespan, and so on. What? You see, I need my glasses, or if I can change my eyesight, or expand my lifespan. I always feel I would live to like 150, I never feel like 80 was it for me, I regenerate the body, feel young, regenerate the body, feel young. Let me stop the foolishness. This dormant part of the DNA that has baffled the scientists is now coming to life. You are mutating so quickly now that certain scientists call the process a disease. Some are very concerned about it. They have persuaded the government to invest billions of dollars to research DNA. What is occurring in your body is certainly not a disease. You are being naturally mutated and rearranged. This mutation occurs most often while you're sleeping, so you may be waking up in the mornings noticing that something feels a little different in your body. You can expect that the changes will begin to show themselves and that you will develop new abilities. You will automatically know many things. The original designers of the human body were benevolent beings. These original creator gods were very generous in endowing you biogenetically with a tremendous vitality of spirit and a tremendous zest of capability. Much of this information is stored within your body in the light encoded filaments that are scattered and are coming back into alignment. Your bones and skeletal form correspond with that information. When your skeletal form is in alignment, the energy from sacred power sites is released. The cosmic rays are pulled into your body, and the light encoded filaments inside your cells begin to reorder themselves, and you will find that you are in the change. The change will be mirrored to you in everywhere you look. The present evolutionary system designed by the creator gods to step you up a number of dimensions or frequencies is based upon the evolution of the 12 helixes that correspond to the 12 chakra centers, 7 within your body and 5 outside of your body. This is simply the way the system plugs in. With respect to the evolution of the helixes within the human body, a common denominator frequency must be attained that even those in the lowest possible stations can reach. There are also those humans who could go beyond the 12 helixes. In general, however, the state of consciousness of humanity cannot achieve that kind of acceleration. It is enough of a leap for people to go from a double helix system to a 12 helix system. No. Some people will be functioning with the 12 helixes within a short period of time, while others around the planet will not receive the shift until later in the decade. This is simply because each individual is encoded to be given the frequency when they are capable of integrating it. Many are already having a difficult time integrating the changes at this early stage of the plan. A large majority of humans on Earth have convinced themselves that there is only one reality and there can be no other. This could be the downfall of the human race. As the helixes come into full force in a person, there is an awakening of the person's inner knowledge that goes beyond what the person has been taught. This inner knowledge is knowledge of self. Knowledge that says there is much more than this physical world. Believe it, know it, understand it. The physical world is a clue to the spiritual world. The world of spirit and self-evolution is on the verge of an information explosion. Cheap energy, free energy, everything will be given to you. All of this is related to the evolving light-encoded filaments, which are millions and billions of tiny little fibers. As we related the story to you, the reigning creator gods who came in and took over needed to have you operate in a certain way in order to control you. They needed to unplug your intelligence, and so they did by scattering and disconnecting the light-encoded filaments that form the helixes in your DNA. These filaments are now beginning to reconnect into helixes. The helixes will evolve in sets of 3 until there are 12 strands of helixes. When these 12 helixes or strands of many light-coded filaments begin to vibrate within the body, each of the strands will correspond to a chakra center. There are multitudes of chakra centers, and there are multitudes of potential helixes that can form. Right now, the common denominator with respect to the number of helixes and chakras that the consciousness of humanity can handle without destroying itself is 12. So we are dealing right now with an evolvement of 12 helixes to plug into the 12 chakras. As mentioned before, 7 chakras in the body and 5 chakras outside the body. The 7 chakras in the body are not too difficult to work with because if you allow yourself to feel, you can physically touch and locate all of them. The first 3 chakras are the chakras of survival, sexuality, and perceptual feeling. The 4th chakra is the heart, center of compassion and connectedness to all things. The 5th is the throat chakra, which relates to speaking. The 6th is the third eye, the vision. The 7th is the crown chakra, which opens up to the knowing of one's identity, goes beyond the physical form. When you get to the 5 outside of the body, you must begin to find new ways to figure out what is going on with something that you don't even know for sure is real. Let me tell you something. That can be disorienting, I would think. The dog, he's drinking his water. Oh, today is a beautiful day. Yesterday was very rainy and overcast, and I like rainy days too. They're cozy. It was affecting my mood. Today is very sunny, and I feel very hopeful, and I want to just drink up all the sun rays, you know? I feel like chapter 5 is our big chapter. We'll see how much we can get through today. Okay. The eighth chakra is within your realm of activity. It hovers 12 inches or more above your head. Most people keep the eighth chakra center close to the physical body. But what does it do? They don't say. The ninth chakra is close as well, within a few feet of the body. Once 9 helixes are formed, the chakra will move out into the atmosphere of Earth to become more of an Earth chakra, connecting into the grid work. It is a link. Oh, I always hear them talking about grid work, and I am unable to like relate to it. One of the ladies had said that it was like when you go out into the world and you are like loving and friendly and you say hi to them, you say hi to the animals and the grass, and you see the connectedness with Earth. That's what she was saying. So, okay, well, that makes sense. Connecting you with Earth, connecting into the grid work. It is a link. The 10th, 11th, and 12th chakras are much further out. The 10th chakra, once it is in line and plugged in, will be in your solar system. The 11th chakra will move out into your galactic system. And the 12th chakra will be located and anchored someplace in this universe. The doggone outside. You will see information from these personal centers, for they are collective centers as well, just as your other personal chakra centers are collective centers. As you learn to translate the chakra experiences, you will discover that life is not the same anymore. Not all people on the planet are going through these changes right now because you are not all coded to respond at this particular time. Each of you came in with a certain order, a map of when and where and how you best operate. Many of you are learning how to follow this plan of the self that will lead you to discover your exalted self. Once you learn how to do this, life will become quite effortless because you will become a vehicle of light and you will be moved just by your intention to commit. Different humans will be exposed to these changes at different times because it would not do to have them occur all at once. This would create chaos where a certain order is needed. As an individual goes through the changes and translates the experience, they can turn to someone to assist them who has already gone through the changes. For those of you who are the beginning people, the process can be difficult. You are the way showers. Once you're able to go through the changes, you can make the path and show others. There are roadmaps that indicate certain events that can occur if you wish to plug into those gridworks of time. The greater commitment you have in every movement to your own evolution, the sooner the changes will occur for the last person. There was a time when the human species occupied higher dimensional frequencies, and you had the ability to move through realities and manipulate matter. Wow, many of these abilities were purposely scattered by those beings who are in charge of your reality. You must understand that every reality has its guardians and that there are different stewardships and guardians at different times. We are using the term guardian in a neutral fashion. You use the term guardian for someone who's protective. We will say that a guardian is in charge of reality. And perhaps they guard it from others. They don't let others come in and change their reality. Guardians, as we are referring to them, are not necessarily benevolent, uplifting entities. The entities who are guarding your reality could be keeping out those entities who could set you free. You have forgotten so much because you were retooled, and many of your inherent abilities were scattered and unplugged so that they would not work. Control came down over minds in your society. There are veils of protection that were put around Earth. Because if you were to attempt to plug into some of this information, you would not have the tools or the background or the ability to make sense of these realities. Now the whole planet is immersed in expanding realities. In order to go into these other realities, you will first need to explore very deeply your own reality. There's no time to have 20 years of psychoanalysis. You have to develop skills and abilities within a few hours that will allow you to travel a few decades in your own emotional evolution. You are going to have to travel the emotional highway because the human body expresses itself through emotion. That is the uniqueness and the gift of your species. Our gift is emotion. Yeah. First, you will need to open the emotional highways to areas that you have hidden from yourself in this particular lifetime. Memories may flood in as this data is lined up inside you. Memories about events that were difficult for you at the time, or perhaps that you did not have a context for. Some of you may uncover the events of extraterrestrial contact that all of you had when you were children. Some of you may uncover expressions of sexuality that you did not understand at the time you were involved in them, whether you were a passive or an active participant. Such things have been buried by the human emotional body because it is very sensitive to judgment, and the mental body passes tremendous judgment. The emotional body linked to the spiritual body hides from this. That is a little weird, right? Why was it? Undercover expressions of sexuality. Why is it undercover expressions of sexuality? Mm-mm. Okay, we continue. You all think you know who you are. You have stories of who you are based upon what you remember of growing up in this lifetime. What we want to communicate to you is that you have a number of parallel, legitimate existences that have different memories than you have. You stopped these memories or didn't focus on the related events because your emotional body couldn't compute them. Much of what you will tap into is tied to your sexuality because it is a part of yourself that you have not understood and that you must go into in order to understand its purpose. What is sexuality all about? Sorry, guys. Who made these rules about the appropriate and inappropriate expression of it? Also, coming up for you will be the realization of the contacts and energy that were continuously around many of you when you were younger to teach you. You blocked out these events because you were not given the support to believe they truly occurred. As you begin this multidimensional exploration, the memories that you have hidden from yourself will come forward. You will be astounded that you could have completely forgotten whole events and large chunks of your life, especially events that occurred when you were under 12 years old. Oh. You will be amazed when you explore the ability of the nervous system to shut down the flow of data that the mind cannot compute. And yet the records are there. So I'm sorry. The sparkling water is making me, gurgle. You now will have the ability to compute many of these things because you will learn to be neutral and not to judge what you have participated in. As you explore your current body, identity, and lifetime, do it quickly. do not have years to study them. As the information in your DNA is retooled and replugged in, you'll be able to feel how the events from this life connect and blossom and have a thread of purpose with many different places that you have lived and many different identities that you have occupied. Ideally, you will move out of judgment, and because of that, you'll be able to pick up the story of what really happened here, which you will experience firsthand through cellular memory. The only way you can step into this higher frequency and determine the future of your lives on this planet is to not judge your participation within this process. No judgment, guys. This is very complex and very important. Feel what we said. This process involves smashing the existing paradigm and becoming a heretic of reality. You will begin to understand that a legitimate, real existence has simply been hidden from you. It is imperative that you begin to remember who you are. You are not alone. You could not do this alone. Even when we say to you that you are the standard bearer of your soul, there are other aspects of yourself that have figured the story out and are coming back into your time period to create this vortex of energy that is going to affect all realities. We can't emphasize enough the importance of these times and the excitement and joy of what they hold, as long as you are willing to change. If you are not willing to change and not willing to give things up, you will have to go through experiences that will be less than joyful. All of you will have certain things you may not want to give up. That may be the difficulty, for each of you has your area of clutching and clinging. And then each of you came to do something here so that you could get on with your travels and with what your soul is craving to experience. It is as if you have unfinished business here. The veil for many of you was pulled down very tightly so that you could not fly away and say, "What am I doing here? I'm out of here." Those of you who understand the higher realms have many times felt very alone here upon the planet. There are millions like you here at this time, forming a tremendous support group. You are beginning to meet and find one another, and you are beginning to thread your consciousness. One fine silk strand with other strands of consciousness. You will see a most beautiful creation come together without great effort because it is part of a plan and you are moved to do certain things. The whole planet has been controlled in such a way that you have been taught and trained from the time you first arrived here that you are not in control of your own reality. You have been taught that everything is circumstantial and that everything depends on something you have no say in. This is wrong. You are the one who controls your DNA. You have complete control over everything. Until you discover that and believe it, you are subjected to whatever anyone else wishes to do to you in this free will zone. And in your innocence, you have been exposed to things that have allowed your DNA, your intelligence, and many other things to be controlled. End of chapter 5. Oh, well, that was a lot. We have to connect our 12 strand DNA to the 12 chakras. We know that 9 is to the earth. We don't know what 8 is, just that it's close to the body. Covers right above the chakra, the crown chakra, right above your head, I think. Then we have 9, which is connected to the earth and the grid work. Then we have 10, which is connected to the solar system. 11 to the galactic system, and 12 into the universe. I'm curious about 8 though. What does 8 connect you to? I don't know. Anyway, chapter 6 will be unlocking the history. We'll do that another day, I think. What y'all think? Another day? I wonder, yes, big. I was thinking maybe I could do this now, but I don't want to overwhelm you with too much reading. Maybe I'll do it later today. Maybe later today. Anyway, but that was very interesting. again, I think we will take it one day at a time, what we believe, what we don't believe, and I will use our own discernment. But it is kind of cool to think we are in control of our own reality and we can create our own realities. I wonder if we have to wait till all 12 strands of the DNA is connected to the 12 chakras before we do that. If we can do that now. Um, Anyways, guys, I hope you have a great evening and that, of course, you feel loved, you know you're loved, and you know that you are loved. And you follow your heart's desires. Hope you have a great day. Bye.